This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Canet and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial, now celebrating 20 years helping families build successful retirements and lasting family legacies. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is a 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
As a federal employee, you have to plan for retirement differently, and that's why you need someone who speaks your language. In come in Mike Canet and Ryan Herbert and the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors Group. You guys specialize in federal benefits. What are some things that employees need to be looking out for? 2024, brand new year, they're thinking about retiring, but it's just so complicated. What do they do? How can we help them?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that question today, Michael, because literally our podcast and our YouTube channel, the number one thing people search there are federal benefits and how to collect them and when to do it and what their options are. And federal employees really are in a very unique situation. They really have some incredible opportunities, but if they don't follow the rules correctly, it can be horrendous. I mean,
and there are a lot of rules.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I swear to God, OPM, the people who actually calculate your pensions and stuff as federal employees and handle all the benefits, I swear to God, they're still using abacuses. I mean, that's how behind they are in technology. They actually spent, now I'm making this number up, billions of dollars creating this computer system to generate your pension numbers. And about the day after it was up and running, they decided it did not work properly and shut it down. Just again, another great example of them using our money. But there are so many rules involved. You know, Ryan and I were just talking about somebody, they're retired, they're over 70, they're supposed to be taking money out of their accounts, and they cannot get the TSP people to actually process the paperwork. And calling the TSP to actually get somebody on the phone to help you, you know, you might as well do your own surgery. You could probably do open heart surgery on yourself with more success than getting through on the phone with OPM to figure out a problem with your TSP and your distributions. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, you know, we've been dealing with one of my clients retired, left the government, and still has some money in the TSP. And we've been trying to get the money out of the TSP for him since September.
Wow.
You know, he retired. We're trying to get it out. That way we can kind of combine it all with his other account. So he has one RMD to take instead of two right now because he has the IRA and a TSP. So since September, we've been trying to do this.
Of 23, September of 23 as of this recording.
September 23. We've been trying to do this. It's now end of December, basically, and they still haven't processed the distribution. He still has an RMD that he needs to take out of there, that if they don't do it in time, because we've tried this so many times, if they don't process it in time, don't take that money out, he's going to pay a 25% penalty.
Wait a minute.
On that amount.
Well, and you know they're going to blame him. It's
100% his fault. That's their standpoint.
We have a client, second marriage. He left money in trust for his wife and he left money in trust for his kids, right? So he put a bunch of money into trust, and some of the money was coming out of the TSP. Now, if you design it correctly, you can make that happen. So you can make sure, you know, it's a second marriage. He wanted to make sure she was taken care of. Mm-hmm. But when she passed away, he wanted whatever was left over going back to his side of the family, which, you know, makes perfect sense. You would have thought the TSP people, the OPM, had never even heard of the word trust. We are talking better part of 9 months of trying to get the money out of this TSP for his wife to pay her day-to-day bills. It wasn't like she just had billions of dollars sitting around. He was the primary breadwinner. She was a housewife for the last 20 years of their marriage. I mean, obviously it was a second marriage, but still, last 20 years of his life, she took care of the house, and he was a primary breadwinner. And no revenue coming in because the TSP people could not figure out how to open up and fund the trust for the various people that were supposed to inherit under these accounts. And federal employees, I mean, at the end of the day, they have an incredible system. And here's my favorite part. So I don't know if you know this or not, Michael, but the federal government has a couple different types of pension systems on there. They have what's called FERS, which is a wonderful system. And At the end of the day, you're getting 30, maybe 40% of your pension, depending on how many years you're in and all that. 30 to 40% of your high three is what it's called. But I mean, there's some calculations involved, and it can be pretty nice. And by the way, if you're thinking about retiring, get it in now because January 1st is the best day for you to retire. But there's this other system, and we call it the gold standard. It's called the CSRS, the Civil Service Retirement System. This thing is the cat's meow. I'm telling you right now. Every time we see one, and you had to opt into it by 1984, so there's less and less people still participating in it. But the people that are CSRS employees that are still working, everybody listening, if you are a CSRS employee, here's my proposition for you, right? So come March, if you're still working, I will pay you more than minimum wage to come help me in my garden. Because as an employee who has your 41 or 42 or 43, whatever amount of years you have in with the federal government, under the CSRS system, you are working for at or below minimum wage. Now, I know you may love it, but you are working at or below minimum wage. And quite frankly, if you retire and you still love what you do, you can retire, go get a private job, go out to the public and get a job with some corporation, and more likely than not, sit in the exact same desk, make 3 times as much, doing the exact same job, no longer working for minimum wage. If you want to truly understand how all these federal benefits, how your long-term care benefits work, how your health care works, do you need to elect Part B? Do you need to do the gap coverage for, and Part H for Medicare? How does your life insurance work? If you want to understand how all those things mix and match and are put together for you as a federal employee, you give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Ryan and myself will sit down. Now, we used to go to federal agencies. We used to go to federal agencies and teach these courses. It used to be sometimes 1 and 2 and 3 day courses, but we've even seen those come down. The federal government is not paying people to come in and teach like they used to. HR departments at the federal government have been decimated. If you want to understand your benefits, you give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team. We're going to show you how to create those income streams. You're going to be in great shape because of the pension you already have. We're going to talk to you about the fees you're paying. We're going to talk to you about how much risk you're actually taking. And federal employees are inherently more conservative, is my opinion. We're going to talk about long-term care, health care, taxes, because even when you work for the federal government, you're still losing 20 to 30% of your returns to taxes each and every year. Give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Again, that's 866-597-1040, and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. It is complimentary for that federal benefits review with Mike and Ryan to get started today. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Guys, at what age should they start preparing for this? Because it seems like it's going to be a long road if you are not planning properly for retiring from the federal government.
50, 55, that's everybody at the federal government, anybody I ever talk to, and, being in the Baltimore, D.C. area, we have a lot of federal employees. Everybody I ever talk to, they know exactly how many years to the day they've been working, and they know exactly when they are eligible for their pension. They know pretty much exactly about how much they're going to get. So, planning for retirement is not something where, I'm going to retire on January 1st. It's now December 19th. Let me start thinking about retirement. You need to take the time to think out what your tax plan is going to be in retirement. You need to take the time to think out, what is income going to look like for me in retirement? Talk about long-term care. Talk about life insurance. Talk about all these things. And while, Mike and I are great and wonderful and can probably get everything done in a very, very short amount of time, you want to be mentally prepared for retirement. You want to take, maybe 3 to 5 years out from when you think you're going to stop working and officially retire, to sit down with somebody. Give Mike and myself and our team here at ProStatus a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down and have that plan written out. So that way, when it comes time for you to make that decision, you have all the information you need. having that plan written out and planning ahead gives you Mike's famous 3 bad day rule, where, if you have more than 3 bad days in a row, my retirement is secure. I'm going to have the income that I need. I can just leave because I know no matter what happens, I'm going to have the retirement that I want. And if you're thinking, I haven't sat down and thought about my retirement. I'm very close to retirement. I want to retire. I encourage you to give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. And for the next 5 callers that have saved at least $500,000 or more, Mike, myself, and our team will put together your very own complimentary retirement plan. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
So here's the idea. Most federal employees retire somewhere north of 57, 58. And that just has to do with the years they've worked, the amount of years they have to work without having a reduced pension. So typically 57, 58 is right around the time they can really start looking at it. And then there's some offset provisions. There's some supplemental provisions if they go out before 62 and how that impacts their pension and collecting a little bit of Social Security ahead of time.
Some of them even have forced retirement dates based on what they're doing.
Right. Some of the Leos have some of those issues going on. But I want to segue for just a moment, if we could. We throw around that number of 500,000 or more, and we throw it out there like it's just an arbitrary number that, we just don't want to deal with the headaches or whatever it happens to be. The reality is that I don't care if you've saved 10,000 or 100,000 or $1 billion towards your retirement. First and foremost, you've done a great job given what you had to work with, and somebody that saved $10,000 that only made $20,000 or $30,000 a year working, that's phenomenal. I mean, you should be proud of yourself that you've done that. And, just like the guy that makes $100,000 a year, if he saved $1 million, that's incredible. You should be proud of yourself. So whatever sacrifices you made, whatever decisions you made to get you to where you are today, that's important. So why 500,000 or more? It really revolves around the strategies that Ryan and myself and our team, the things that we do, the concepts and the investment vehicles and the tax planning. They require certain dollar amounts in order for them to be truly effective, right? So that's where we come up with that $500,000 or more. Does it mean that the only time we ever talk to somebody is if they have $500,000 or no? No, but the most effective strategies we're going to be able to implement, the best way we can do our jobs is if you fit into a category where we can actually maximize all the benefits and all the knowledge and all the experience that we bring to the table, right? I mean, you do not need to go to a heart surgeon, right? You do not need to go to a heart surgeon if the only problem is the hangnail, right? Right? I mean, it just doesn't mean you don't go to a doctor. You certainly want to go to a doctor. And if the only doctor in your whole community is a heart surgeon, that's the one you're going to go to. But at the end of the day, you want to find the right person for you. The practice wants the right person. The heart surgeon wants to see people that want and need heart surgery and heart care. And the patient wants to be with that doctor who specializes in it. You certainly don't want to go to a general practitioner, right? You don't want to go to your family doctor if you need heart surgery. And that's kind of the way Ryan and I look at ourselves. At the end of the day, there are a bazillion people out there that can explain to you how to invest into a stock or a bond or sell you a mutual fund or sell you an annuity. And while that is part of what Ryan and I bring to the table, that is part of what we do, how to invest your money, where to invest your money, how to do it in the most effective manner possible, taking the least amount of risk necessary. At the end of the day, we are truly what we call holistic financial planners. And that's a different approach than you probably have ever experienced in your lifetime. Every time somebody comes into our office, and I don't care if they come from referrals, if they come from podcasts, from YouTube, from workshops, from the radio, from television, from everything that we do out there, when a person comes into our office, 100% of the time, they are 100% surprised at what we are presenting to them because nobody else has done that for them. Now, doesn't mean somebody else out there isn't doing it. I've just never experienced a prospective client, a client. I have never had somebody said, oh yeah, I talked to 3 other guys that do exactly what you do. That is just not the case in the Baltimore, Washington area. It's not the case up in the Detroit area. It's not the case in Lafayette. It's not the case in Baton Rouge. It's not the case in Orlando. It's not the case in Melbourne. It's not the case in the 30 states where we have clients at this particular point. We do strictly holistic financial planning. If there's a dollar sign involved with it, give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan and myself and our team, and if you've saved more than $500,000 towards retirement, we will show you how to create income streams that you will never outlive. We're going to talk to you about how much risk you're taking. We're going to talk to you about the fees you're paying, long-term care, health care, estate planning, taxes. It's all about having a comprehensive written financial plan, a comprehensive written. I can't stress the written part enough. A comprehensive written financial plan. You deserve it. You've earned it. Give us a call, 866-597-1040.
Again, that's 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. If you've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, congratulations. Now make sure that you have a plan for retirement with Mike Canet, Ryan Herbert, and the team at ProStatus Financial, 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And if you're enjoying the show, follow us on social media. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and follow us, subscribe, and share it with your friends as well. That way they can share this great information on demand, advice from Mike and Ryan. Thanks again for listening and watching us today, guys. As always, though, Mike and Ryan, you get the final word.
This is Ryan Herbert. Thank you for listening to the Savvy Investor Radio and podcast.
And this is Mike Canet. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody out there.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.